Jet Dark, the 3-year-old, is giving lots of cheek. Belgarion getting going late, but it's Jet Dark that comes home to win it. Belgarion in third. Then came Do It Again, first, third and fourth for Justin Snaith.
SNAITH Racing celebrated their most recent Grade 1 win when Jet Dark won the Grade 1 Lomarans Queen's Plate at Kenilworth on the 9th of January. It was nearly 50 years ago that Chris Snaith became the youngest trainer in South Africa to be granted his license. He learned the hard way by himself, but the experience was invaluable, earning him Grade 1 success and providing a foundation for his sons Justin and Jonathan to take SNAITH Racing to a new level and into a 21st century business. We caught up with Chris in his stable yard at Phillipi.
This stable has got an old history. This used to belong to Theo de Klerk, who was the Cape champion trainer when he trained in Muizenberg. And when he moved to Phillipi, Roger Caradoc Davies, who was chairman of the club at the time, bought his stable and rebuilt it here. And I actually bought this first farm off him. When he built it, it wasn't really used much for racing. It was, he used it more as a stud farm.
It was called Veltevreden and named after the original homestead, which dates back to the 1800s when a German community settled on the land. A community who generations later still work the land in the area.
They farm the vegetables, they come take my manure, they give me vegetables. And they're almost friends of ours because we use them occasionally. We need a tractor, we need this. They're very happy to help. I remember once when we were taking out a chimney, we found an old sack, Hessian sack, and it was crumbling. And inside there were spoons. And I thought, here we go, these must be the family silver. And when we cleaned them up, because they were just, it must have been a poor family living there, I think. There wasn't what I thought it could have been.
Despite the disappointment of not having stumbled across a family fortune, Chris set about buying up additional land.
Then we bought the farm below and moved all our horses from Muizenberg onto the two farms. Later on, I bought another 3 farms around to make up the total area, so I could put tracks in if I needed to. At the moment, we use the Phillipi track, so although we have put a track in, we don't keep it up. It's even far easier to go across the road.
And by that, Chris means the tracks at the Phillipi Training Centre over the Veltevreden Road from SNAITH Racing.
Other than perhaps the Fishers, who were much smaller trainers, you know, we were the first trainer to train from here.
With lots of space and plenty of room for the horses, it's been a very happy and successful place to train from.
We've trained, you know, many winners from here.
The likes of Flaming Rock, Dancer's Daughter, Legislate, Do It Again, Belgarion and others. So what's their secret?
The whole thing is, it's a farm situation where you've seen all the paddocks. We have about 30 paddocks here, so we can put horses out. They go out every day. You know, we put the fillies together, the geldings together. The colts have to be on their own, unfortunately, but they all go out and they get a bit of grazing, and it relaxes them. Racehorses are under tremendous stress. They go off their food, and so you know, paddocking helps them in a huge way.
With fond memories of having previously been based at Muizenberg, horses are also taken on outings to stand in the cool waters of the Atlantic Ocean. It's been a long-held belief that the waters have healing properties, with legendary trainer Terence Millard having previously taken his many champions to walk in its waters.
You can't believe how they pull themselves into the trailer because they know they're going to the beach. Yeah, they got the saddles on and there's the float. So when they go to the races, they take the saddles off and they lead them into the other floats. They see this float, that's the beach float. They pull themselves into it and they love it.
Even Do It Again kicks up his heels in delight. Chris never misses a trip, although these days he enjoys riding one of the more settled horses.
I'm now a little more particular, you are right. I try to stay off the standards. They have a habit of rearing over on top of me. The water helps them, but it's mainly for their minds. A happy horse will win races. A horse that isn't, that's nervous and got problems, they won't win races. They don't do their best.
SNAITH Racing is also a family-run affair.
My wife Sue started it all. I've got 2 fabulous children that I'm very proud of. They've never let me down. And they've taken my limited training career to a different height.
Chris didn't start out training race horses.
Well, I started as a show jumper. I was quite happy to make my living show jumping. But there was very little money, very few sponsors. And I also was doing a lot of hurdle racing.
One didn't need a license in those days to train hurdlers, but as racing grew, the Jockey Club changed the rule. And so at 22, Chris was the youngest trainer to take out his license in South Africa.
I remember the guy giving me 1,000 rand and said, go buy a few horses for the flat. And that's how we started. We started very small. I remember Terence Millard offering me a job when I was 17. I actually laughed at him. I said, I'm going to be a doctor. Can't do this, But it was the worst thing I ever did. I mean, because if I'd worked for a top trainer like that, I would have been able to do it much easier myself and much quicker. I had to learn everything myself. I trained by myself on the beach at Muizenberg. I had nobody showing me what's right, wrong or right. I had to learn it all myself. I was a good rider. Didn't make me a good trainer. It took years and years. And I made many mistakes along the way. And, when I think back what I did, I think, what an idiot. But a lot of things you've got to learn yourself.
Does one ever know all there is to about horses?
Well, I'm 70 now. I don't know it all yet. I'm getting there, but I've got a lot. I still feel I've got a long way to go.
Any special memories that stand out for you?
I must mention some of the breeders in the old days. I had nothing. I had very little money, no backing. And I'd go into these stud farms and I'd say, please, have you got anything to trade? I haven't got anything, I can't buy anything, but have you got an old mare that stopped doing it, or a clubfoot youngster, something that you can't sell? And not only would they give me a horse, I remember Colin Cohen the one day, he gave me a bloody nice filly that somebody had chucked out. And he said to me, just park your truck at the thing and I'll give you a case of apples. And I went and had a cup of tea. And he said, don't worry, I've loaded the apples in your truck. When I got home, there was 100 bags of oats as well.
Oh, wow.
And I remember phoning him. I said, look, your guys made a mistake there. But he said, no, something to help you out. They did things like that in the old days. And those old breeders, they were great people.
From great people to great horses. How many horses do you have to get to find a good one?
It just depends which end of the market you're buying and who's buying for you.
Okay.
First of all, you could have all the money in the world and the wrong, not a good agent looking for you, and it'll take you 10,000. Otherwise, if you've got the right people looking and the money to buy them, 1 in 50. You need 50, but I mean, still, it's a lot. I mean, you can't expect, oh, well, I've got the most money, I'll buy the best horse.
Yeah.
It's going to be a champion. It doesn't work like that. Not by a long shot. There's a lot of work going into it. And if you're a big owner, the person buying your horses is the most important, not the trainer. The person who's buying them, who can select them for you.
Do you think young trainers starting out today have it harder?
Well, it depends how they start. Sometimes they do, you know. I talk to a lot of them, and my advice is go to the stud farms. That's where the horses come from. Get in touch with the breeders. Look at your horses. If you can't afford to buy them, just keep looking. Sooner or later, one will fall in your lap. And to me, that's the art of training, is getting your horses. Not once you've got them in the art of training, you've got to train them for sure, but you've got to get them first. And they don't come looking for you. You have to get out there and find them.
Chris, is there a limit to the number of horses you can have in training?
No, the Jockey Club doesn't stipulate a number, but what is important is the number of horses you can manage. And for every 30 horses, you need a top assistant. We train a lot of horses, you know, but we have a lot of very good help. Training is one of the hardest jobs in the world. People think you just walk in there to the Jockey Club, take out your license and off you go. Yeah. It's not that easy. It's a tremendous, demanding job, and you've got to put your full attention to it.
You've loved it though, and still do, Chris?
It has never been a job for me. It's been a way of life, and if you can do something you love doing, you're not working.
Chris, would you do this all over again?
In a heartbeat.